Hello and welcome back from the break. You're watching Future Proof, the business television programme that looks at the power of emotional intelligence to enable business owners, employees and indeed students who are looking to the workplace as they forge forward in their schooling and getting exams and studies together. And much research has gone into the importance of actually preparing students for life, and I believe that this very much can be covered, not totally I know, but by teaching emotional intelligence. In the first half I was talking about Julian Rotter, the American psychologist who published a paper in 1954, and it was so that business owners could assess motivation in the workforce. And going into the break I was talking about internal and external locus control, and I very much focused going into the break talking about external locus control. So these are people who believe they are where they are today because of what has happened to them. They feel no sense of control over their lives. So they are blame focused. They will always blame you or somebody else. They operate in a circle of concern, and they are problem focused. And so I said that after the break I would talk about internal locus control, and this is all from Julian Rotter's paper. I have published I have an article on it. If you would like a copy of that article, please just email me, sarah@sarahhopwood.com, and I'll be more than happy to send across that PDF to you so you can not just read it yourself but maybe circulate it around your business. It's actually called Gain Control of Your Destiny, but it talks about locus of control. So I now want to move on to talking about internal locus control, and this is the person who believes that they are where they are today because of the decisions that they have made. So we all have what we call external stimulus, response and outcomes. The external person, the blame focused one, will have the external stimulus, and I use the example of the office desk moving. Response, which would be automatic knee-jerk because they've got no sense of control, and then the outcomes, reduced output, unhappiness and what have you, and they'll say, I am unhappy, my output has gone down because you moved my desk. So the internal person has the same, if you like, three boxes of external stimulus, response and outcomes, but they are aware that they have something called the choice box, which sits in between the external stimulus and the response. So this secretary hears that his desk is going to be moved, and this time he says, this is not what I want, I really don't want this change, I love the window, the outlook, I love where I am. But rather than knee-jerk into an automatic response box, he or she then say to themselves, okay, this is going to happen, there's nothing I can do about it, we are having a refurbishment, my desk is going to move, so I now have choices to make. So before responding, they go into the choice box, and in that choice box sit predominantly a lot of emotions and a number of decision making processes. So emotional intelligence and understanding it is giving us the ability to respond rather than react, and knowing what affects those responses. And emotion is energy in motion. So emotions often will, if we allow them to control us, will dictate our responses. So emotions, behaviours, our values, all those things will sit in that choice box and affect those decisions that we make. So that secretary that says, okay, I don't want to move, but I equally don't want to end up being very unhappy once the move has taken place, and I certainly don't want my output to go down because that could put a threat on my job. So I need to make sure I remain as efficient as I can. Actually, this could be an opportunity for me to raise my game and actually be even more efficient than I'm already being. So in that choice box, they can then make decisions, go, okay, this isn't what I want, but this is how I'm going to respond. I'm going to keep an open mind about the change. I'm going to look for opportunities where I can actually grow and maybe make the most of things in and around me that weren't there before. So let's say, for example, you're nearer the vending machine. Well, maybe in that you could perhaps start building better relationships by talking to people once they come to the photocopier or the vending machine or something. I don't know what it is, but opportunities to grow. I'm going to have a positive mental attitude to this change. I'm going to wake up every morning and make some positive statements. I'm going to maybe look at where I can put a proposal in that could make the changes even better. Maybe from this new position I will see things and I can take recommendations into the board that will really give them value and share ideas and things that I'm seeing that they're not aware of. So once that person makes some decisions about the change, they will then respond, which means they will then respond in line with those decisions. So they'll create some new positive habits and thought processes. So the outcomes that they have will be much better. It could even lead to a promotion. So let's say they are led a year later after the refurbishment and the change to the desk, it leads to a promotion. They'll be able to say, I got this promotion not because the desks were moved, but I got this promotion because of my response, because I decided to respond to that change and make sure that I get some better or good outcomes from it. So to summarise what I've just said, and this is based on Julian Rotter's paper, where he said he wrote it in 1954 so that business owners could assess motivation in the workforce. We as business owners want to make sure that we have many, many, many more internal locus control thinkers than external locus control thinkers. Why? Because internal locus control thinkers, you have the external stimulus, the response, and the outcomes. And the internal thinkers, rather than knee-jerking into response, will dive down into the choice box and say, right, this has happened. It's not what I wanted, but I'm going to make the most of it. I will make some decisions. I will create some habits. Once they make those decisions in the choice box, they respond to those decisions. And once they've responded to those decisions, they bring good, positive outcomes to a business. They are brilliant to have as exemplars in the business because they will go into the staff room and they won't be frightened to speak positive things into the change where other people are behaving perhaps negatively and nervously about those changes that are taking place. When Julian wrote the paper, he said and recognised, which I think is very well known and renowned now, that as human beings we tend to want to run away and turn away from danger, turn away from punishment, turn away from pain, but we do walk towards promotions, we do walk towards rewards and the reward system. And if we make good, positive decisions, even when the outcome or the near future looks a little bleak, if we make good decisions around that, then we can really influence not just our own lives, but we can bring positive influence into a business. So that empowers us to future-proof. We can future-proof as business owners our own thinking. We can, rather than stick our head in the sand and worry, we can actually use this tool to say, okay, I can't control this external stimulus, but I can control how I think about it. And something that we all know is, if you can't actually have any influence of change on what is going on, then do not waste your energy trying to change something you know you have no power over. We're far better going in and thinking, okay, maybe it's just my attitude to this that I can change, but just put the energy into places where you know you can influence, where you know you can change. And if there are people who are so steeped in external thinking where they don't feel they have any choice, then maybe remove them if you can for a while. Put them in a cupboard somewhere. Just say, look, you just keep doing this. You're safe here whilst we cope, if you like, with this change of strategy, with this visioning process that we are being involved with. So the internal locus control person, thinker, has full control. They will say, I believe where I am today because of the decisions that I have made. They operate in the circle of influence. They are solution focused. Even if they haven't got the solution, they will keep looking for a solution, and most of the outcomes for those results are found in that choice box of effective thinking. So I commend the paper to you. Do email me, sarah@sarahhopwood.com, if you'd like a copy of my publication on the subject of locus of control.